Hi, this is Chris with Montana Trout Fitters. Today we're going to tie a little pattern I call the Bridge Jumper Midge Emerger. This little pattern is fairly simple, but it's extremely effective, especially when fish are sitting in the real shallow water and feeding on midges and get kind of particular about what they eat. This pattern can be tied in a number of different sizes, anywhere on up to about a size 16, which is what we're going to tie today here. I like to fish this pattern on the Madison, shallow water situations where the fish get picky, because they really do choose out specific midges on the water sometimes rather than eating huge clusters. So load the hook into the vise here. Start off with, we'll be using a Dairiki 125 size 16. It's an emerger hook, 2x short. For the body, we'll be tying in a turkey biot quill in black. For the little bit of rib on this pattern, we'll be using Mirage Accent in opal. For the wing, we'll be using a couple of different colors of CDC, slate gray and black. And we'll finish this off with a little bit of super fine dry fly dubbing in black. Thread of choice here is going to be Unithread 8/0 in black. So to start this pattern off, leave yourself a little bit of room up by the head because you'll need that to tie in your CDC here eventually. Just take that thread, coat the hook with it. I like these emerger hooks because it gives it a nice shape, and also with that straight eye it allows this fly to just float right in the surface film. Use a little bit of that bend on the back too. Trim off your tag end. You're going to tie in your quill. And working with quills sometimes can be frustrating because you tie them in one way and they want to go another. But you want to tie this facing up so that as you wrap this forward you get a ribbed effect that you can then take your piece of tinsel through. So this opal tinsel here will tie in right at the back. Then we're just going to take our thread forward. You don't have to make one thread wrap right next to the next here because we're going to be covering that up. Now hopefully, if your biot cooperates, as you take this forward, you'll have a little ridge as you wrap. That little ridge creates the perfect little spot for you to wrap your flash through. So I'll wrap about 3/4 of the way up there. Then you want to make sure you catch that biot. Make a few thread wraps. You can come in here, trim that piece out. You'll take your flash and you're just going to run your flash in between each one of those little wraps of biot. You can do it without hopefully matting down your ridges in your biot. We'll tie that off up at the front. Next material you're going to use your little CDC feathers. Now you kind of want to match and marry these two pieces together so that they're about the same length. Then when you tie these in on the front, what's nice here is if it looks like there's too much out of the front, you can kind of give these a little bit of a tug, even your feathers out. Once you get them set in place, make another couple thread wraps and come right in, trim off that back piece of the feather. Pretty simple here. The last step that we have on this pattern now is to add a little bit of our dry fly dubbing in. You don't need much. We're just going to cover up a few of our thread wraps here. So be sparing. You don't want to build a big head. Midges don't really have big heads and they have fairly slender bodies. And the final step on this here, I'm going to pull that CDC all back, wrap underneath, and then whip finish. trim. You can put a little head cement just right on the bottom. Want to be careful with your CDC though, not to get it all matted up. What's great about this pattern is it just hangs right in the surface film, right where those picky fish tend to look. That right there is the bridge jumper.